SA Sports Show. I'm here with our major sponsor, Billy Threadgold from Air Diffusion Agencies. Welcome.
Thanks, Ando. Good to be here.
Yeah, mate. Where did it all start, Air Diffusion? Because I actually was off camera. I was chatting to one of the guys there, and he actually asked me how many staff do you think Bill's got? And I said, oh, and I looked around, and I was very honest. I thought maybe 25, and he said, you're miles off. How many staff would you have? South Australians would you have working for yourself?
In South Australia?
Yeah.
120.
Wow.
And 30 odd in Queensland, and another half a dozen in Darwin. It's about 156 or what.
Wow. And how did you start the Air Diffusion? How did that come about?
In about 1986, I was working for a company who manufactured air conditioning components and equipment, and that company got bought out by Hills Industries. And at that point in time, all the products that I was selling and involved with, Hills Industries cut from the product range.
Yeah.
If they didn't make a certain margin. It was all about accountants and percentages and dollars. So I saw an opportunity that after a short time that they weren't going to be involved in the air conditioning industry anymore. And I had some good people in the industry, and I spoke to them and they helped me get started. So I started off with about 3 people in 1989.
Wow.
We worked very hard and built it up to representing other companies that weren't in Adelaide and selling their product. And then it became obvious that we had no control over the service because our service depended on how good their service was to us.
Yeah.
So the business grew to a level where I could support myself and my family. And at that time it was just myself and 4 sons. But to grow further, we needed to look at manufacturing.
Yep.
I got involved with a lovely lady who had 4 children. So the 2 of us shared the same house with 8 kids, and then we started manufacturing.
Yeah.
And the business grew from there. We started off because we had to fund everything. We started off manufacturing cheaper items, easier items.
Okay. Yeah.
Minimum cost in equipment, and as we got more and more into manufacturing, we invested the money into more equipment. And we then focused on wanting to be a one-stop shop for air conditioning. So we opened up another branch. She ran that branch. I ran the first branch we're still at now. We brought up another child of our own, so that was 9 children we brought up. And some of those children came into the business along with other people that we were able to employ. Then we opened up another branch out at Salisbury. So we now had 3 branches to service Adelaide.
Wow.
And then those branches became too small, so we had to extend branches, like we had to buy the place next door here as a warehouse and the factory the other side. And we still didn't have complete control over everything we did. We had to buy a lot of products from competitors. So then we started importing to complement what we couldn't make.
You had to, yeah.
And then we also bought some other companies out that manufactured other products that we were selling. So the company just kept on growing to where we've now got 6 factories, all manufacturing, and we still complement that with importing.
6 factories that you manufacture. Oh wow!
4 in Adelaide.
What a success!
The latest one we have in Adelaide is a factory that now makes polyester insulation.
Okay, yeah.
And that's the biggest part of flexible duct. And we've got 18 flexible duct machines, but we had to buy the insulation from another company. We couldn't compete against overseas flexible duct.
Yeah.
So by buying the insulation company, it was an overhead we reduced. It made us more cost effective.
Yeah.
We could now compete against overseas product. The government changed its trends and wanted to start supporting Australian manufacturing, which fell into our lap a bit. We manufactured a whole range of products to meet the building codes as they changed, which our competitors don't have. So that enabled us to supply projects like the Adelaide Hospital, the Convention Centre, the Samry building.
Wow. Okay.
We're about to do the new upgrade to QEH with another Australian company that's doing the installation side of it. So it's just been a process from humble beginnings to quite a big
South Australian company,
business.
And it is. It's what a great success story for a South Australian. But in saying that, what you've just said then about the success of your company on a sports show. But what probably a lot of people aren't aware that you sponsor this great show. So you're getting sport out to the community on TV. You sponsor a lot of sporting clubs. So you really are giving a lot to the sporting community, and I know, you got life saving, you got bowls, you've got netball clubs. It really is endless that how kind you are to help community clubs, be successful.
Well, I'm very fortunate. With 9 children, I've got 32 grandchildren.
Wow.
And the children all were involved in sport.
Yeah.
Sport's a great thing for kids to be involved in. They are introduced to good quality people.
Yep.
It provides them opportunities to go into the workforce later on in life. It gives them lifetime friends. It keeps them active and healthy. And when we first started, obviously what we could do was very small to what we can perhaps do now.
Yeah.
But the initial times was the Ranella Footy Club. All my kids went to the Ranella School. My son-in-laws went to the Ranella School. They all ended up playing at the footy club. Daughters and daughter-in-laws played at the footy club as when girls footy got going. There's the Christie's Beach Surf Lifesaving Club. I was involved with that as a surf rower. My kids came down and did nippers. I've got grandkids now doing it. I've got kids that are training and still doing masters. Yeah. So those 2 locations were like a second home for my family. So it was good to give something back to them.
Yeah, but not just to them though, but to the community of the sport. Which
well,
is
we
so
go
important.
to the clubs.
Yeah, to the clubs, which helps.
So we sponsor
junior
them.
programs and senior programs. I mean, please, I don't play down what you're doing, because I actually, really take my hat off to a great South Australian story in business. But what you've done, you've given so much to the community and the sporting community, which I love. And so you're involved in the Hallett Cove Football Club, was it, or was it?
The Hallett.
Ranella.
The Ranella
sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, we are involved with Hallett Cove BMX Club, and even Cross Keys BMX Club. We sponsor Tea Tree Gully Football Club as well, because we've got staff that are involved with that club. We sponsor the Ranella Cricket Club. We sponsor Southern Districts Cricket Club. We sponsor the Ranella Netball Club.
Yeah.
We sponsor the Southern Football League as a league.
Yeah.
We sponsor a lot of different organisations, but most of them are through family involvement.
Exactly. Yeah.
And some of those clubs I'm on the committees of, like I've been on the Ranella committee for 30 odd years and the Lifesaving Club committee for 30 odd years, and I'm not able to lead the clubs because my work lifestyle and commitments don't allow me to do that. But I'm able to add some business support and some advice to the people that run the club and help out where I can behind the scenes.
I just know how hard it is to fundraise. You do an absolutely incredible job to help support so many athletes and their clubs to reach their potential, and that's what it's about. You've reached an incredible level in business, but what you're doing out there in the community of sport, from one South Australian to another, mate, thank you so much. You're a prize, you really are.
Well, it's okay for you to thank me, but I have a wonderful lady that allows me to do all this and sits back and quite often spends evenings on her own while I'm at meetings or I'm out doing my thing with the different clubs, family. The golf club or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, it's all about, we sort of try to focus on kids.
Yeah.
In like we sponsor.
That's the development, isn't it? Yeah.
And nowadays, sport's very good for families.
Yeah.
It holds families together.
Yeah.
And any sport that kids and parents and siblings can be all involved in is it's a very good environment.
Yeah. Well, thank you to your family, very much so.
No.
Okay, thanks, Bill, and back to you guys.
Thank you.